You're the hard target too.
I am the hard target too, and you're the hard
You're the
target.
hard target too of the art of action. There you go.
Yeah, I am, man. Hey guys, welcome to what I'm calling the ultimate episode of The Art of Action. So obviously, Scott Adkins is the host of The Art of Action on his YouTube channel. Great show talking to stuntmen, martial artists, actors, etc. We're flipping the script. He's the guest, so he can't be the host and the guest at the same time. So I'm kind of a guest host in a way. Anyway, this is my idea. I'm going to run with it and call it The Art of Action Ultimate Episode. Hopefully, he'll be cool with that. But regardless, you guys got to check out his new movie, Accident Man Hitman's Holiday. It's absolutely amazing. You know, in general, I'm not like the biggest fan of newer action films, but he does it right this time. So I'll 100% put my reputation on the line when I say, you guys got to watch this movie. This is definitely Viking Samurai approved. But anyway, as far as this interview goes, we're just going to really get the origin of Atkins, like his martial arts and how he broke into film and just like the trajectory of his career, and talk about obviously Undisputed movies, Ninja, Universal Soldier, etc. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, you guys got to hit that like button, help support it, but more importantly, support his new movie coming out October 14th in the US, and then I think about maybe 2 weeks later elsewhere in the world. I cover like a lot of different stuff, but obviously I do interviews, and I've had a lot of guests that you've had on in the past, you know, and our shows are quite similar, and some people will even joke, oh, like the Viking Samurai is like the B movie version of Scott Adkins' Art of Action, you know.
Oh, there you go. You're the hard target too.
I am the hard target too, and you're the hard target.
You're the hard target too of the art of action. There you go.
Yeah, I am, man. But we're getting there now that I got you. So this episode, by the way, is almost like it's almost like if I was a guest host of Art of Action, and now we're flipping it around because now you're the guest.
Crossover.
The crossover, and you're the guest that everybody obviously wants to hear from.
I'll send you the little emblem to put in the corner, Art of Action.
There we go. That's fine.
BNG.
Let me ask you this, man, because I know you start off a lot of your episodes like this. You always kind of ask the guests what their martial arts background is and how they got involved in the martial arts. Okay,
so I was 10 and I did judo because my dad and my brother did it. And then they stopped. I continued, but then I stopped as well. Pretty, I was just a kid. And then there was this ninjutsu class that was above some pub somewhere that was attended for a little bit, and I was still messing about because I was just a kid. But then I did taekwondo when I was 13.
Okay.
And I stayed there for a good long time. And it was the TAGB, and Ron Sergey was my instructor, and he was known to be the guy that would do all the spectacular kicks for the Taekwondo Association of Great Britain, flying kicks, spinning kicks, all the rest of it. He was my instructor, so it was perfect because I was a natural kicker, and that came to me very easy. So the Taekwondo is my base, and it's there, and it's still there to this day. And then I stopped that, and I started to do kickboxing. I went on to teach kickboxing, and I've dipped my toe into, different martial arts over the years, jiu-jitsu, capoeira, wushu, bits and pieces, boxing, a little bit of everything, and just throwing it all together with a splash of Hollywood dough. And there you go.
Yeah, and obviously the acrobatics, you must have taken
the gymnastics, yeah. So right? Gymnastics, and I was pretty natural at that as well. I taught myself to do a back somersault and everything. But I didn't start actual gymnastics until I was about 17, 18.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had a lot of bad habits that I needed to get rid of. But I was interested in doing it for the films. Even at that point in my life, I was like, no, I'm doing this for the movies. The guy's trying to get me to do it specifically for the, how it would be done in the Olympic gymnastics or whatever. I was like, no. I want to try this 360 butterfly that I've been working on. And he would hate us to do that, the instructor, but there was a few of us that were like-minded, and we wanted to try out what is now tricking, but back then was just, crazy martial arts moves.
Yeah. Was it Bay Logan that kind of talked you into a lot of stuff? Because I had interviewed him in the past, and I guess you sent like some demo reels to him, and then he was like, well, Scott, you should put on a little muscle. And then you came back to him all muscled up. And then he's like, well, Scott, you should learn how to do gymnastics. And then you came back with like, doing all these gymnastics.
I don't know if Bay's, because I watched that.
Scott wrote to me and said, I'm this guy and I want to be in movies. And I remember I was living, I think, Edgbaston near the cricket ground. And I came back and there was this skinny youth waiting outside my house. This was Scott. And we chatted, and my immediate thought about him was, what a nice young man he was.
Sure.
And I looked at his, physique, and I said, it's not enough. You've got to, guys are looking for this Van Damme thing.
Sure.
So he goes away, and about, I don't know, 3 months later, I get these photos of him, and he's jacked, and I'm like, wow, okay.
You know how old he
And
was
then,
at the time?
geez, I'm going
Like-
to say late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
Very young.
Okay.
And then it was like, I would say to him, well, but you've got to learn martial arts. And then you'd get him doing all these kicks and then videos of that. And then I'd say, well, but kicks aren't enough. You got to do acrobatics. And then you get videos of him doing gymnastics. And then I'm like, but this isn't good enough, Scott. You need to act. And then I got a video of him doing Henry V. It was at that point that I thought, this guy is going to make it.
I don't know if Bays remembered it the right way, but it's similar. It's similar. He definitely was a guy that I was sending my stuff to and asking his advice. I mean, I'd met him because he lived in Birmingham, and he was working for Combat Magazine, which is a Birmingham-based martial arts mag. And I'd met up with him a few times. And when he went to Hong Kong, I would send him my videos, and he would send letters back saying, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Not specifically as what he was saying. But yeah, he gave me my first break. I mean, Extreme Challenge.
Oh, nice.
They were looking for Caucasian sort of martial arts guys, and he said, send your video to this guy, and I did, and I got the part.
Nice. Yeah. You've been working ever since. That's awesome.
Well, so I've been in it since 99, and that's more than 20 years now, isn't it? But the first 10 years was a struggle, bits and bobs here and there.
Yeah.
And then since Universal Soldier 4 really is when it kicked into the next gear, thankfully.
Speaking of which, it seemed like that was what, 2012, I think. Forget when that came out exactly.
Yeah, probably shot it 2011, came out 2012.
And it seemed like you basically took over the franchise from Van Damme, but they never made another one after that. How come?
I don't know. I mean, they're talking about rebooting it, weren't they? John wrote this. Actually, he wanted me to be in Regeneration, and I couldn't do it. I can't remember the reason. And then I watched that film, and I was blown away by it. I thought it was excellent. I love Regeneration. I mean, I love the first one. Let's be honest, the second one sucks.
It is the truth.
Yeah, Regeneration is brilliant. I loved it. I love the way it was just completely stripped down. It was almost like watching a Black Hawk Down version of a Universal Soldier movie. It was full on gritty, like hard hitting, and it's just this like sequence that just takes place. I mean, the story wasn't even that much. It was just like watching these Universal Soldiers go into battle. It was brilliant. And then when he was doing the fourth one, he wasn't too sure about me because he wanted someone. I think he was looking for what you might say an actor first, and was going to train them to do martial arts. But it became apparent they needed someone that could do both, and that was a bit of a question mark with me at that time, I suppose. But he settled on me in the end, and yeah, very proud of that film. I know it's not the sort of film that is that rewatchable because it's a bit of a shock to the system, isn't it, that movie? But it's a brilliant movie as well. Very gory, full frontal male nudity and all the rest of it. And that strobe effect and everything, it's completely in your face. But it's a clever film. And John Hyams is a brilliant auteur. I mean, he's a great director.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So I guess that's basically when you thought your career really took off. I always kind of felt Undisputed too, because that was when I first seen you. Me and my brother watched that. And obviously we never seen anything like that Guyver kick, we were like, just, wow, who's this guy, So then I was on the internet just trying to search anything about you. Like, what else has this guy been in, and find like little clips here, little clips there.
Did you think Boyka was real?
Yuri Boyka, Chornomachony, Russia. First degree murder.
Well, like a lot of people thought he was a real person, kind of like Tong Po.
Yeah, Tong Po as himself. Yeah. Boyka is that character that so many people are inspired by. That's your Rambo, for example, where people just, that character kind of took on a life of its own.
I am the most complete fighter in the world.
Yeah, it was completely unexpected because I tried to, I just wanted to play the villain to Michael Jai White's good guy, even though he's a bit of an asshole in the movie anyway.
Go fuck yourself.
His character. He was the baddie in the first one, now I'm the baddie. Anyway, I just wanted to make a I just wanted to play the part and disappear from myself. And for me to imagine, you know, going up against Michael Jai White, who was massive, much bigger than me, I, you know, really delved deep into that character and put on as much muscle as I could, obviously. And yeah, that was a big success for me. But I say that it didn't really kick off until 2011, because even though people really responded to that film, it didn't come out for a while. And also, even though they loved it, you've still got to get the producers to give you another job, which wasn't exactly happening. And Ninja was a big opportunity for me. And that was actually a pretty big budget at the time and a 7-week shoot, which was incredible. But then that film just didn't turn out to be what we hoped. Sometimes that's the way it goes. And so we doubled down with Undisputed 3, which I didn't work for a whole year.
Oh, wow.
And then we hit it out of the park with Undisputed 3. I mean, most people really like that film, and it's one of the, said to be, not by me, one of the best American-made martial arts films. And so just after that, you know, once people get to see that, the ball started to get rolling for me.
Yeah. Going back to like Undisputed 2 or 3, because obviously you look insane. Like, what was your workout routine for those movies?
Yeah, lifting heavy weights, which you don't do anymore because you get injured a lot. But, you know, just trying to, it was the standard sort of Joe Weider approach to weight training that, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger was famous for, you know, and I still kind of do that to this day. I've changed it quite a bit, but it's still kind of the base. If I want to put muscle on, I'm going to do something like 3 sets, almost to failure. You know, with a body parts split of push, legs, pull sort of thing.
Oh, that's my favorite routine. Yeah, push, pull, legs. I love splitting it up like that, you know. It's good, it's a good workout routine. But how low are
reps? Tested. I mean, people say things like you shouldn't train to failure too often and all that, but you know, it works for me. But to be honest, I don't like being that big. I did it specifically for Undisputed. Having a choice, I wouldn't be that big. I mean, I'm not, you know, naturally. I don't like being that big because you can't do some of the more agile moves.
Sure.
I mean, you can, but it's harder. I could do it back then. Now it'd be really hard. Now that I'm 46, but when I was 28, I could kind of get away with it, I suppose.
Yeah. So you were about like what, 190, I think, in those movies?
I don't use pounds. I was 90 kilograms, Undisputed 2. And I think I was something like 88, maybe less, 87, Undisputed 3. I was more cut in Undisputed 3, more ripped.
Yeah, and that came out after the Ninja movie, which you were like extremely shredded in that.
Yeah. Well, Ninja, just before Ninja, I was stunt doubling Ryan Reynolds for Wolverine, Deadpool. So I got into pretty good shape for that.
Yeah.
And then Ninja was directly after that. And I just dieted down as much as I could, did a lot of running and got the most ripped I've ever been. And to be honest, I was too ripped. I felt malnutritioned. I think it was malnutritioned. When we stopped filming that movie, because I worked so hard on it, I was basically ready to collapse.
Wow.
Yeah. I had these conversations with Stallone on Expendables about how he would shoot the fights first, right? When he was directing them, he'd shoot the fights first. So get into amazing shape, do the training montage and the fights first. I think the fight first, though. And he would just completely destroy his body and it'd be so malnutritioned and have such little energy that you're just like ready to get injured like that.
Wow.
You know, and your immune system's so low. And it's definitely not healthy to look like that. But you look healthy, but you're not healthy.
Yeah, it looks amazing on screen. Like, speaking of Stallone, he's got pictures of him doing like a headstand in the ring in Rocky 3 because he said he got to get blood back to his head because he can't even think because he's so malnourished, you know?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
crazy. He was telling me he was having like a boiled egg and like one potato or something crazy like that. I can't remember exactly, but something weird like that.
Yeah, his Rocky 4 diet, burnt toast for whatever reason, and just like 25 cups of coffee or something crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
amazing. He's the man. Stallone's the man. I know we can both agree on that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's
still
all
going now,
here, man. The background, Stallone is the guy.
Yeah, the ultimate, a true filmmaker as well. gave his body
Genius.
to the action genre, you know, hurt himself so many times, so many injuries, snapping his pec off the bone. I remember being told a story about him on Rambo 4 by Chad Stahelski, and he cut his hand, and it was a deep gash with a machete or something. He just looks at it and laughs, and then just carries on working.
That's a hard
Tough guy.
man.
Yeah, tough guy.
And it's just crazy that he directed all these films. Like he wrote them, he directed a lot of them. Obviously,
Yeah,
he's
true
acting in
filmmaker.
them.
True filmmaker.
Yeah,
Great director, great writer, good actor, great actor. I wish he'd got the Oscar. I think he deserved it.
oh, totally.
He deserved it for his body of work, if anything.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.